Hi, Bashamaya here. I've been facilitating constellation work for many, many years, and I'm often asked, what is a constellation? Very difficult to put into words as it's experiential and it's an embodied process. And if we have a look at what's happening today with the raising of consciousness that's going on, and how many people I work with that are still feeling that connection and that being human is what they're continuously searching for more than ever, no matter the globalization that's going on in the world and this desire for connection, for intimacy, for feeling that they're fully in their body, for feeling that they can move and embrace from heart space. They're striving for authentic freedom. And authentic freedom in the constellation perspective is looking at what has been restricting us from moving forward in full soul movements towards a loved one, towards a project, towards our children, towards a business, whatever it is. Often we find that we move forward and there is like an interrupted movement. We come to a point or an obstacle or a block, and we have no idea exactly what it is that's holding us back. And very often we're carrying symptoms out of a deep blind love for our deceased loved ones. And we do this on a deep soul unconscious level, and it is often a way that we feel connected. And this feeling of connectedness comes from suffering like those that came before us, from carrying tumours, from having reoccurring symptoms, accident prone, or that we suffer from migraine headaches. And no matter what spiritual inquiry, how many times we've visited doctors or we've been to naturopaths or different forms of therapy, that this interrupted movement, this feeling that something has a stronghold on us, is still there. And in constellation work, we're working with the morphogenic field, the field of knowing, the field of intelligence that interconnects us intimately on a deep level to everything that came before us, also on a past life level. So if we look at it at a soul level, all members of the family system are deeply bonded to each other in a love and loyalty, and no matter how that looks like on the surface. So no matter even if you feel that you have a good connection to your mother because you sent her flowers on her birthday and you phone her up, there may be on a soul level still a sense of separation from her, a sense of an interrupted movement, and this affects the way that we move towards life. Mother equals life, and equally father, the connection to father, who may have been missing in our life. But in the field, everything is interconnected, and so many clients I've worked with will come wanting to get rid of something or someone in their life, and they feel that then they have the freedom, then they are free. And in constellation work, we're looking at embracing, we're looking at bringing balance and restoration and acknowledging and accepting everything as it is and was, and bringing back into balance the family system. And thanks to Bert Hellinger and also his wife Sophie Hellinger, constellation work has grown and evolved over many, many years. And Bert Hellinger observed and worked with Zulu tribal healings, and he discovered the orders of love. And that first order basically is the right to belong, that we all have a place and the right to belong. And secondly, that there is also an order of precedence. And we see that often in the sibling line, like the firstborn child is always the firstborn child. But if there's been a deep invisible dynamic or a hidden abortion or a secret that's held in the field where the parents have maybe not shared with their children that there was an aborted child, then that child is not taking the right place within the family system and within these universal laws. And there will be suffering or a feeling of ungroundedness or dis-ease within that system. And so within one constellation, often the shifts and their alignments, recalibrations are on a quantum level being recalibrated for not only the person setting up their constellation, but also for all family members and those that are not present. So if there's been a deep wound to the family soul, such as sudden death, suicide, loss of fortune, abortion, adoptions, and that wound has not been acknowledged, then the flow of love is impeded. And many years later, those blockages, they continue to manifest in unrelated ways, often seamlessly unrelated. Difficulties in relationships, perhaps professional problems, chronic illnesses, or an inability to achieve that sustained sense of wholeness, no matter how much spiritual inquiry or personal development or professional development we've undertaken. And the way to dissolve these entanglements already exists within the family soul. Constellation work serves as a respectful vehicle to enable this process. And this simple but incredibly profound and quantum realignment and self-healing pathway, it creates a radiating wave within the soul group and also allows that sense of spaciousness within the individual. And in this way, when we acknowledge what is, accept what is and was, and using highly calibrated healing statements, then we are free to be calibrated in this magnetic field, and we become magnetic and we can move forward with a sense of freedom. And over the years, I've seen infertile couples coming to set up a constellation, for example, and then receiving an email a few months later that they've finally been able to conceive, because the root cause of what was going on was with a deceased grandmother, perhaps, who had suffered a stillborn child. And once the child is included into the system, given its right place and honoured and respected, then the love can flow again. The work is experiential, it is incredibly powerful and very immediate. And the field will show what is. It holds the information past, present, and future. So if you've never experienced constellation work, join a workshop and have the experience or a private session and really embody this ancestral wisdom. What I'm bringing into my workshops now, which I have found very complementary, is our shamanic principles. We're using drumming, music, bringing in emotional release techniques, and also using the light codes, because this container, this field is multidimensional. So the galactical consciousness is ever present. And the light codes are supporting the ascension process. They're supporting the cellular awakening, the remembering, the coming home to our original blueprint, to who we authentically are, and knowing that we have that support of our ancestors at our back, and we can move forward from a heart consciousness space with ease and grace, joy, freedom, and a lot of love and connection.